Good morning, I'm Wendy Burke, and this is the CBC Morning Report for Friday, December 3rd. In our top story, the hundreds of Barbadians who travel to the United States every day, and the hundreds more who are non-nationals taking the same trips, now have a new protocol to follow that will significantly impact their travel plans. As of Monday, December 6th, all international travelers entering the U.S. must have a negative COVID test result no older than 24 hours prior to arriving. This is the switch from the 72-hour requirement that currently exists. That's one of the requirements U.S. President Joe Biden has unveiled as new measures to combat COVID-19, saying the emergence of the Omicron variant also increases the urgency for booster vaccines. His plans include tighter restrictions for international travelers and expanding access to at-home testing.
The strategy is multi-pronged, but the upshot is that the president is trying to get a handle on the COVID situation in the United States, given the fact that there is this fear that will be another surge in cases due to the Omicron variant that he admits scientists in the United States and around the world still know very little about. So what we've got here as we head into the holiday season is the mitigation plan put in place by the Biden administration. And it has a number of facets to it, including making sure that those that travel to the United States test negative for COVID-19 within 24 hours. Previously, that was 72. We know that there's going to be the availability of more in-home testing free of charge so that people are not spreading it unknowingly. And also, the president making a big push to see that those tens of millions of Americans that are already vaccinated, that they get their booster shots, because they still believe that this is the best defense against this new variant, and COVID for that matter, of any kind. We also know that the mask mandate federally on public transportation is being extended until March. And as well, we know that there are going to be extra resources, kind of a doubling down, if you will, of these so-called surge teams that go to areas where this may be breaking out, particularly in areas that may not have a lot of hospitals, so that there's the extra staff, medical staff, in order to deal with this. So the bottom line is the president's doing this not only to get ahead of COVID-19 and potentially another wave here in the U.S., but also the narrative that many Americans are becoming increasingly frustrated with the president's handling of this and would like to see him do more.
And you mentioned that there was the extension of the mask mandate on public transport and those international restrictions. What about any pressure to put more restrictions on domestic travel?
Yeah, it's really interesting because the president is under a lot of pressure to put in more restrictions domestically, but from only certain segments of the United States. It's a very divided country, and notably, the United States is lagging behind other countries. Germany, for example, that's just put in place new restrictions, limiting where people go if they've not been fully vaccinated. The reason that's not happening here, and why there doesn't seem, or why there's reticence by the Biden administration, has a lot to do with the conservative belief in the U.S. that this would be a violation of civil liberties. So what we're not seeing here are vaccine passports. What we're not seeing are additional lockdowns. In fact, you heard the president talking there, going out of his way to say that this will be solved with speed and science and not with any lockdowns or chaos and confusion, almost sort of comparing and contrasting to the previous White House under the Trump administration. So this is a president going to great pains to say we'll do this differently, even as some in the United States are pushing for more restrictions, particularly as we've now found another case of the Omicron variant in the United States in one day after California. Now we're seeing it in Minnesota, and it was from a traveler who had traveled not outside the United States, but domestically within the United States. So that pressure is still there, but so far the White House is resisting it.
Next on CBC Morning Report, further updates on the COVID-19 pandemic. 2 more Barbadians have been added to the list of COVID-19 casualties. A 51-year-old woman died from the virus on Wednesday at the Harrison Point isolation facility. She was vaccinated. Additionally, a 61-year-old man who was unvaccinated passed away at the facility yesterday. To date, the number of deaths from COVID-19 is 234. 198 people tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday, December 1st. The Basto Santos Public Health Laboratory conducted 1,827 tests, and of the new cases, 49 people were under the age of 18. A total of 394 people were in isolation facilities and 2,370 in home isolation. The COVID-19 strain Omicron has now been identified in over 20 countries worldwide, and as a result, health officials in Barbados are exploring various ways to identify the variant. The head of the Basto Santos lab, Dr. Sonji Beckles, says they're in the preliminary stages of working out a way to do the test for Omicron.
We will add some additional testing to the lab. So we do have some specific primers that look for what they call the S gene dropout or the S gene failure of this particular new variant. We do have reagents in stock in the laboratory that we can look for that particular dropout gene for our testing, and that can be used as a proxy to determine if Omicron may be here. Mind you, that gene is also associated with the variant out of the UK. So what you would have to do also is verify, first of all, or confirm whether is it actually the variant from the UK or is it really the new variant.
Having achieved the major milestone of 80% vaccination status for adults, the government has moved to ease 3 major COVID-19 restrictions in St. Kitts and Nevis effective today. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris stated that with the high level of population immunity, the experts believed, based on the current evidence, that the country should be able to absorb more risk and not overwhelm the health system and safely continue to open the economy. Further insight was provided by Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws on the move during the latest COVID media briefing.
As of Friday, the 3rd of December, all vaccinated tourists who are arriving by cruise, so all cruise passengers who disembark, and all layover passengers at our hotels who would have completed their 24-hour quarantine, they are free to go to any of the tourist, the COVID-19 approved attraction sites and beaches. So let me repeat, all vaccinated tourists, meaning those arriving by cruise or by air. Let me just add, if you have arrived by air and you are staying at one of the hotels and you completed your 24-hour quarantine, so in other words, you would have done that test on arrival within 24 hours. If that test result is returned negative, you are then free to go to any of the approved tourist or attraction sites or beaches. And so both can mingle, the cruise passenger and the layover passenger who would have completed their 24-hour quarantine. The second measure speaks to the unvaccinated or partially vaccinated inbound passenger. The quarantine period is now reduced from 14 days to 9 days. So if you are coming into the Federation and you're unvaccinated, so at present, it's only our nationals and residents who qualify or who can return home unvaccinated. And so if you are an unvaccinated national, returning national, or partially vaccinated, meaning you only have 1 dose on board, you now qualify for a 9-day quarantine period. And thirdly, entertainers will now be able to undertake mass events for fully vaccinated patrons with 75% space capacity.
Meanwhile, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says people who are not vaccinated will be excluded from non-essential shops, cultural and recreational venues, and Parliament will consider a general vaccine mandate that would come into force from February.
In less than a week, the Omicron variant has swept the globe with more uncertainty about COVID. In many countries, especially in Europe, new restrictions were being introduced anyway, with the winter surge in Delta variant infections. Germany is the latest to announce new measures. Signs like these, vaccinate, immunized, is the way this country and others are now heading. The unvaccinated are now barred from access to all but essential businesses, such as grocery stores and pharmacies. Angela Merkel says new stricter measures are essential in a situation she finds depressing.
To be quite honest, the fact that we are now in the middle of such a strong fourth wave does not make me happy. It depresses me, especially when I look at certain regions.
In France, where the health service is struggling with record numbers of COVID infections, the government's scientific advisor believes the Omicron variant will be dominant within a matter of weeks.
Le vrai ennemi, c'est la cinquième vague avec le variant.
The real enemy is the fifth wave with the Delta variant. There will be some time before the Omicron variant establishes itself in France and in Europe in general. We estimate it to be at the beginning of 2022 or at the end of January.
In the UK, where booster jabs will be available to anyone over 18, the arrival of the Omicron variant has led to a clamour for vaccinations.
We're starting to see people who I think are probably anxious about the new variant that's been come across, and we've started to get people coming for their first and second jabs that they could have possibly had months ago.
The UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson himself got his booster on Thursday. In Germany, the government will also consider compulsory vaccinations. And as people put their hopes in jabs being able to ward off Omicron, something that scientists are still unsure about, there's a chilling prediction from the European Union's Public Health Agency. It says that within a few months, the Omicron variant could be causing more than half of COVID infections in the EU. And from the Norwegian capital Oslo, another warning. More than 50 people have been infected with the Omicron variant at a Christmas party in a restaurant. The government says they were all vaccinated.
In South Africa, where scientists detected the Omicron variant last week, new infections doubled in a day, signaling a dramatic surge in the country.
Experts suspect that it is the Omicron variant that is causing that sharp rise, whereas previously it had been the Delta variant. And this was their main concern, just how transmissible Omicron is, how it would affect people, and just what role vaccines would play in terms of protection. Now, the Institute of Communicable Diseases has said today that chances are that people who had COVID-19 before, it's likely that they still would be infected by this new variant despite having antibodies. In fact, chances of being reinfected have risen about threefold. So that continues to be a concern. In the last 24 hours, there have been 11,500 new cases of COVID-19. And what is of particular significance, even though South Africa has a total of 40,000 existing active cases of COVID-19 in South Africa, even though that number is significantly lower than many other countries in the world, is the positivity rate. That's now at 22%, up from 16% just a day ago. So it's clearly giving scientists a better picture of just how transmissible this particular variant is.
And it's time now to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. And we say good morning and welcome to Pearson Quinlan Boone.
Good morning to you, Wendy. I just made you laugh before you came onto the screen because I wanted to call you Quarrelsome, Wendy Quarrelsome Burke. But no, I'll bestow on you today the name Queenie. Wendy Queenie Burke. Isn't that beautiful?
No, it isn't.
Really?
Queenie is one of the Jamaican artists that I despise.
Then I bestow the name on you this morning. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, coming up at 6:30 this morning, we get going with Morning Barbados. And tomorrow, is the Spirit of the Nation show. All week long, we've been introducing you to the parish ambassadors from the respective parishes. Today, we'll meet those representing St. Michael and the parish of Christ Church, so look out for that. Also today, we'll meet a young woman who's written a book, and she says it's a must that we get up and get moving in the direction for which we've been created. She says you need to dare to believe. We'll meet her. And today too, we'll introduce you to a Bajan Afar who has been listed as one of those 20 influential women in the travel industry. Who is she and what is she about? We'll introduce you to her in just a little while when you join me at 6:30 for Morning Barbados. It's back to you, Wendy.
I think I'm going to stay quarrelsome this morning, Jason. We'll take
like
that
it,
first. Well, thank you for that update, and we'll be seeing you within the hour. It's time now for another break, and when we return, more news. 2 years into the COVID-19 pandemic, some city merchants remain hopeful business will return to previous levels. CBC's Aaliyah Briggs tells us how some of them are gearing up for what is traditionally their busiest time of the year.
The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted much of what we consider normal, and Christmas shopping in Bridgetown has also taken a hit. But merchants in the city are adapting and are hoping for the best. Even with rising freight costs and inflation globally, Banna's bargain store on Swan Street is going the extra mile to maintain competitive prices this holiday season.
We are trying our best, and we are looking forward for this month of December 2021 for our best season. I know times is hard for people, job is hard, but we are trying our best to help our clientele, our customers. We didn't even carry our price very high this year due to increase of everything. We keep our last year prices also.
Banna believes a further ease in COVID-19 restrictions could drive traffic back to the city.
I'm hoping for after the 15th of December that our Prime Minister open up the country so that we could get more traffic, because due to the curfew, a lot of people are not coming in town, and if people in town, they leave early because due to the bus.
The holiday season is traditionally a good time for boutiques, but boutique owner Michelle White says the COVID-19 restrictions on mass gathering events and parties has slowed down business.
The pandemic, of course, it makes business very, very slow. all round. The only places I think that making money is the supermarkets, you know, but clothing stores, no money, because there's nowhere to go, right? That's the first thing people are saying, that there is no place to go, so they can't shop clothes.
Hot off the heels of a Black Friday sale last week, store manager at Tropicana Jewelers, Aussie Moore, says things are looking up this Christmas.
We're feeling a little bit of the Christmas gist right now. Like, people are now beginning to come and look for gifts and stuff like that. Some are buying, but you know, it's still a little bit early. But we do anticipate a good Christmas because things are really looking up.
Business has been steady for owner of Maya's boutique, Michelle, but she has noticed a shift in the shopping habits of Bajans. She believes the traditional last-minute shopping rush is now a thing of the past.
They're shopping early because they don't have much money, so they're going to shop early and get everything piece. So from the last Sunday we're out, and I cannot complain. Business has been good. I'm encouraging persons to come. Don't wait until the last rush when everybody's in town, because COVID comes out Christmas Eve. So come get your things piece.
Aaliyah Briggs, CBC News.
Literature and reading have been identified as essential tools in the empowerment of Barbadian youth. One local author has donated her literary works to inspire the students of the Springer Memorial School. She is Kamisha King, author of Journey to 30 and founder of the Live Your Best Life program. She made these remarks while presenting her alma mater with 80 copies of her book.
This gesture is transformational because it will go on to impact communities, workplaces, and our nation. Because one student coming from a dysfunctional home can learn how to thrive in spite of circumstances. I am honored today to start the Live Your Truth program with a copy of my first book, Journey to 30, The Naked Truth, I Am You, and with my alma mater, Springer Memorial School. As the program continues, it is my hope to give back to all secondary schools across Barbados.
The donation was facilitated in partnership with the Sandy Lane Charitable Trust. While expressing gratitude for the donation, principal of the Springer Memorial School, Mitchell Maxwell, said the books will go a long way towards inspiring the students to make a positive impact in their communities.
We are indeed delighted to be associated with receiving these books. And let me say that it speaks to all the tenets that we promote on a daily basis as we connect with our students, allowing them to understand their sense of worth, that they are valued as young ladies who have an opportunity to be empowered, to make a difference in the life of the nation, and by extension, their families that they represent.
Despite online classes, students across the country were not left out of Independence and Republic celebrations. Several of them, including those at the St. James Primary, participated in virtual programs with themes of nationhood, giving their interpretations of the significance of both events. Acting Principal Mary Archer says the presentation was a collaborative effort.
Today we had all kinds of presentations. We had poems, we had videos. Teachers are still working really hard. And I must highlight this one because there was a video where the parents would have worked, and we have to thank the parents during this pandemic. They have become our co-teachers because where we would be doing a lot of the work, they are now stepping in. So one teacher, what she did, she gave, well, all the teachers, they would have distributed the items to the pupils. And in this particular, in the infants B age group, actually, they did their little parts and they sent it to the teachers. So the parents would have recorded, and most parents recorded the activities today and sent them just in case the virtual platform wasn't working the way they wanted to. And what the infants B teacher did, Mrs. Beresford, she took the video, she took the parts the parents sent, and she created a video.
Another part of the session included the handover of 3 hampers consisting of toiletries, books and other items to the Harrison Point isolation facility.
We have asked the children and their parents to make donations so that we can help. This is our way of saying thank you to those persons who have been dedicated and committed to the cause for over a year and a half.
On behalf of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital Board, as well as the Harrison Point and Isolation Facilities and Management team, we are extremely pleased and thankful for this donation, which always would be a great time. We always have children in the facilities who are missing home, missing their friends, missing their family, and the books and the toys will go a long way with regard to that.
As more schools in Jamaica get approval to reopen for Phase 2 of face-to-face learning, Education Minister Fayval Williams says all schools should use a mixed modality to deliver lessons. She was speaking during a sitting of the Lower House on Tuesday.
The Cabinet has granted permission for our larger primary schools to be opened for face-to-face. A total of 383 primary schools are approved for the next phase of face-to-face learning. As I said, these schools are our larger primary schools, some with their enrollment above 630, while others are occupying 80% or more of their capacity and will account for some 164,000 students.
Education Minister Fayval Williams has also announced that high schools with a vaccination rate of 65% or higher are to resume face-to-face classes. She insists all schools should use a blended approach to reach students and observe other guidelines provided by the ministry.
Use a blended approach, a rotational schedule given your capacity and enrollment. You must be inspected and approved as COVID-19 compliant by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and of course must strictly observe the COVID-19 protocols in the daily operations. Here as well in our secondary schools, all those persons who are working there are expected to be vaccinated given the availability of the COVID vaccines.
Minister says 60% of the secondary school target population has received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, while 24% are fully vaccinated.
And it's day 5, the 5th and final day of the second test between West Indies and Sri Lanka in Galle. And the scores, Sri Lanka in their second innings are 345 for 9 declared. West Indies in their second innings scored 132. The match winner, Sri Lanka, by 164 runs. And Barbados Gems will have to try and redeem themselves later today after taking a crushing defeat in the first match of the World Netball Series against Scotland last evening. Playing at Glasgow's Emirates Arena, the Gems were crushed by 42 goals, losing 74 to 32. It's time now to take a look at our weather picture. Let's see if it's worth going to the outside. The temperature is currently 26.2 degrees Celsius and it's fair. It feels like 30%. Humidity stands at 89% and the barometric pressure 1012.4 millibars. The winds are again from the east at 26 kilometers per hour. Low tide will be at 8:28 a.m. and the second low tide at 10:19 p.m. High tide at 2:37 in the evening. The seas are moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1.5 to 2.5 meters and steady. Small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution. Today it's expected to be a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few brief light to moderate showers mainly during the morning session. Tonight a mix of clear skies and clouds with a few brief scattered light showers. And here's now a look at our international cities. That's been your morning report. You can hear our next newscast at noon. We now go to Pearson Bowen and Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. To you.
Good morning, everyone. Fantastic Friday morning to you wherever you are. It is Friday, December the 3rd, 2021. I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming those of you viewing us in Barbados. Good morning. And across the globe as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for watching us on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook stream, on our Facebook page, Mornin Barbados. Good morning indeed. Now, it's Friday. You know me how I think on this one. Friday night sleeps are the best sleeps in the world. So for those of you who work Monday to Friday, grab that snooze tonight and make the best of it. This morning I want to say good morning and congratulations to Kimisha King. We saw her in the news having made a donation to her alma mater of her book. And certainly we want to commend you on the journey you've taken thus far to 30. Kimisha King, congratulations on that. A very special good morning to Mrs. Jones as well, who calls us every morning in search of Elvis. If it's you, Elvis, she calls us for you. So Miss Jones, a very good morning as always. Thank you so much for checking in. We'll continue to track Elvis. He has left the room and left the building, but we'll see how we can track him down for you. This morning as well, Dale Ford will join us. She's the daughter of the author of the book Aussie Moore, and his name is G. Addington Ford. So there's an activity book, and the book we'll share a little bit more about what is coming up between those pages as well, and an opportunity for you to win in our Christmas promotion. So get next to your phone, make sure they're all charged up and ready, and listen for when we call, because when we call, you know how to answer your phone. If you answer it correctly, then you're a winner with us this morning. Let's get cracking by taking a look now at the ongoing activities of our parish independence committees. Tomorrow is the Spirit of the Nation show, which you will see live right here on TV8 at 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock in the evening, part virtual, part real, in real time. And so this morning we're connecting with those of the St. Michael Parish Independence Committee. We have joining us now Darren Burke, who is the attendant, and one of the parish ambassadors, Rhea Harris. Good morning, both of you.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for joining me. We are hours away from where it all goes down. Rhea, are you ready?
I am definitely ready. I'm looking forward to an exciting show, especially because I did have a wonderful time making the recordings.
Really? So talk to me about what made it so wonderful for you, those recordings.
Well, we had the formal wear session, and I thought that the designer did a really good job, as well as the fact that we did have a public speaking aspect, and the location at Frank Coleman Hall really brought some memories, seeing it when I was looking at NIFCA as a young child. So I really thought it was very important, impactful for me.
Mm-hmm. For anyone who's watching asking, so okay, Rhea is the female ambassador, where is the male ambassador? What do you say?
I would say that unfortunately he's not here at this time, but definitely understand that there are really two ambassadors for St. Michael, and we look forward to having two ambassadors in the future next year.
Absolutely. Why did you put yourself forward to be the ambassador though, Rhea?
When I was younger, I did attend the show, and I thought it was very invigorating to see young persons on the stage presenting themselves. And when I came back from university, I would have attended a session for St. Joseph. And when I actually spoke with the ambassadors there, I thought it was really impactful for me. So I said, why wait any longer? Because I was thinking about it for a while, and I said, let me take that jump now.
And so far, so good.
And so far, so good. I mean, I must say that COVID has changed a lot of things, but I'm still thankful for the experience.
Indeed. Come back to you in a minute. Darren, you too would have had to say, I want to be the attendant. What caused you to make that decision to be the attendant?
Well, first of all, good morning to everyone. I love to serve. I love my country, and I saw the Parish Ambassador program as a way to give back and as a way to serve. And I had gotten a bit of a prodding from one of the former committee members and stuff, and I said, man, look, let me serve and see what I can do for the country, you know? So it was that love. I'm a very patriotic person. I love my country, so I saw it as a way to serve the community.
How has it been though working with your parish ambassadors, you know, just making sure that everything is all right there on time and all the rest of it?
It's been a very interesting experience. I learned a lot about time management, learning how to deal with persons, different personalities, conflict management. There have been so many things. I actually felt like it comes to the Governor General, no president, stuff like that. You know, being able to make sure that they are well turned out, and making sure that I have their sashes and these pins, and it was something else. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
So Ria, you had your own aide-de-camp right there working alongside you, making sure that everything went to plan and everything went well. What's the project that you've been working on?
Well, our project this year is Heritage of St. Michael. And the motto was St. Michael, we heritage, we culture, we parish. And our aim was to really inform residents about the history and heritage of St. Michael and help them to understand the benefits that it truly plays for us, not only as persons from St. Michael, but the impact that it has on Barbados in general.
So it was a history lesson. I know you had a number of activities, that encouraged people to join you on your search of the history. What did you discover, Ria, yourself about the parish of St. Michael?
Wow, I mean, if I had to tell you everything that I learned, I would take the whole morning. But some highlights that really impacted me would have been the fact that when I was assisting towards our heritage booklet, I really learned some places that every single day might pass, but come to realize that they have so much significance. So the Dalkeith Methodist Church, and like the fact that we now have another female, right, for our special, Rihanna.
Yes.
What I recognize is that Dalkeith Methodist Church was one of the first places that had electricity, but Sarah Ann Gill, another national hero, was a part of that movement as well, and that's the church that she would have attended. And there was so much impact just having that church be destroyed in James Street to leading where things are now with the Methodist Church. And I learned a lot about the baobab tree, understanding that not only does Queen's Park have, but Warren's also has a baobab tree as well, and the benefits of the fruit. I mean, there's so many places the booklet was rammed.
Yes.
It was a lot. George and Lamming, straight to the fact that there is actually a place in by the Hilton that has visitors coming from, that is the fact that it's internationally known, that visitors can come from overseas and come to experience just fish and bread. It's amazing.
I could well imagine. But St. Michael itself is such a vast parish, though. And I know it would have been challenging just trying to get to every door, every person, to one, introduce yourself, and to get their buy-in on your project. You said you went virtual. How did you go virtual, and how did people respond to that approach?
Well, we did have virtual aspects in the beginning, where a lot of the time we would have asked people to send any contributions. We would have asked persons to look for locations when we posted photos, and we highlighted many things about history in general. But at some point, we did get some walkthroughs in the Tishporn area and the Lodge Crescent area. And just like you said, St. Michael is so expansive. We walked for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it felt like we got nowhere. But people were really receptive. They welcomed us. They spoke with us. And some people said that this is the first time that they've actually seen St. Michael Parish ambassadors, and we've been around for 26 years.
You've been really active in your community. I've seen all the activity, and I'm really pleased with what you've done this year. So Darren, you too would have been a part of this effort to introduce yourselves to everyone, to get them on board. What do you say now to those from St. Michael watching, and there's so many of you, who are, and to invite them to lend their support to you guys tomorrow night? What do you say?
Well, come on board. Don't hit my horn anymore. There's wonderful history. The courses are fantastic. They have a lot of courses that help to shape your life. And what's not, there are many successful persons that have passed through the ambassador program, and it's awaiting you. There's a lot of wonderful heritage, a lot of culture. I found that I'm a very patriotic person, and this program has even made me even more nationalistic, more excited to help develop my skills and help to give back to the community even more. So I would say to all young people out there, get on board, become a parish ambassador, become an attendant. Let it be a headache for the CACS to pick who they want. Come on board.
You have real
really
laughing.
great.
Let it be a headache. Give them a headache. Come on board. So, but Darren, would you do this again, and would you continue supporting the Parish Independence Committee of St. Michael?
Well, yes, I had told them that I would probably serve on one of the subcommittees. I don't think I might be an attendant, but not immediately. but I will go on to one of the subcommittees and help where I can. So yes.
Is Rashid Drakes still very much a part of what you do with the Parish Independence Committee?
Well, he is off for this year, right? But he remotely comes in.
He checks in.
But he check in every now and then. But he's off for this year.
So I understand. Rhea, now listen, there are 11 parishes, so you are up against 10 other pairs of people. Are you confident you're going to bring it home tomorrow night?
Well, I am as confident as I can be, considering that we did have a wonderful experience, not only with our project, but what we have done in the community. And for me, regardless of whether I do win or not, I do want to extend congratulations to whoever wins, and congratulations to all the teams. We did have a tough time this year, but ultimately we all pulled through, and I'm really hoping that tomorrow night shows all of the work that the parish ambassadors can accomplish, along with, and I think it's very important to mention that the ambassadors are not the only persons in this program as well as the attendant. The Parish Independence Committee really supports us. They really make sure that things operate smoothly and assist us through this process.
Well done. Who is your male ambassador? What's his name?
The male ambassador is Shaquille Wade.
Shaquille Waith. All right, so we're looking forward to hearing the names Rhea Harris and Shaquille Waith tomorrow night as the outstanding parish ambassadors for 2021. Darren Burke, you too have a chance to become the attendant of the year, so congratulations in advance to all of you, and continue doing what you're doing. You're doing it so very well. Thank you so much for supporting the program through the years and being outstanding parish ambassadors for the parish of St. Michael as well. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing your faces on the screens tomorrow night from 8 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you so much, sir.
Likewise. Thank you so much as well. Good too. All right, that's it. We're going to come right back after this to meet the parish ambassadors for Christchurch after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
14 minutes now to 7 o'clock. Yes, tomorrow is the night, the one night when we get to celebrate with our outstanding parish ambassadors from all 11 parishes. And you get every reason to sit before your television screen tomorrow for the Spirit of the Nation show. It will be broadcast here and telecast on TV8. You can watch it on our Facebook and YouTube channels as well. And you can celebrate with your respective parish ambassadors. So we want to encourage as many of you across this island to tune in tomorrow night from 8 o'clock and lend as loudly as you can your support to your parish ambassadors and representatives. We now meet those from the parish of Christchurch. Let's welcome this morning the attendant, Amoy Gilding-Bourne, Jamila Calendar, and Kodia Paris are the parish ambassadors. Good morning, each of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Good morning indeed. Kodia, let's start with you.
Yes, please.
How does it feel to be the parish ambassador for Christchurch?
Good morning again. It feels actually great to be representing my parish because and I was small, I went to a couple of the shows and I was telling myself, maybe when I grow up, I could be one of these. And now I have the opportunity. It's a great opportunity to be a parish ambassador.
What did you see that caused you to think I would want to be one of these? What did you see?
How the young people back then were representing their parish with pride and not having to worry about other people talking about them.
And how has it been for you so far?
Honestly, it's been great, kind of stressful, but I handle it well.
So now you see it's a little bit of work that you have to put into to be there on that stage of those that you would have seen before. Jamelia,
Yes,
how has your time been for you?
The time as an ambassador was honestly great. I really like the fact that I was in a position to help people. That's something that's really dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that is actually why I decided to become an ambassador. I like to volunteer, I like to help people. So I reached out to the Parish Independence Committee this year, and I was selected as the ambassador.
So how have you been able to help people while you've been working as a parish ambassador?
The project most dear to my heart this year that we did was the supplying of people to help the COVID pandemic with food supplies and other necessities. So we helped numerous families across Christchurch, persons that lost their jobs, persons that were affected by the pandemic, persons that got sick and stuff like that.
So how did you go about doing that? How did you get the support of whoever donated to make sure that that happened?
We sent letters to companies, businesses, persons donated like actual funds, persons donated canned stuff, and we just packaged them all and sent them out.
That was certainly a labor of love, right?
Yes, please.
Amoy, you're the attendant, so you had to keep them in shape and make sure the project works and everything happens. How has your journey been thus far for you?
Well, it has been great. I have been blessed with two exceptionally intelligent, smart, and creative ambassadors. So my job was kind of easy. They worked well together, and I had fun. I learned a lot along the way as well.
Well, now you got me curious. What did you learn along the way?
Well, for starters, I did not know that Christchurch was one of the original 11 parishes from the get-go. And we were divided to make room, no pun intended, for St. Philip. So yes, that was
an interesting fact that you picked up.
Yes.
Well, why did you
yes,
volunteer?
I was wondering why they made us smaller, but they made Christchurch smaller. But I think great things come in small.
There you go. I like your perspective.
You were asking a question?
Why did you volunteer, put yourself forward to be a part of this program?
Well, I have a passion for service, and I'm very patriotic, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to give back to my community. And I saw the need for it. There was an advertisement from the CICS, and I saw it 1 week. I ignored it, and then I thought about it repeatedly for the whole week, and I said, you know what? I put myself out of the torture, and I was given the opportunity to represent my parish and be attendant and help these two beautiful young people along the journey.
What I like about what the Community Independence Secretariat does is that you go through a period of training, so you're not just tossed in and hope that you find the skill set to be able to manage. What level of training did you go through, Cody, Amoy, to ensure that you became the best attendant there could possibly be?
One of the things that was integral was public speaking, and I thought the CICS did a good job in providing us with training sessions and opportunities for us to hone those skills and to improve those skills for those of us who already didn't have much of a public speaking problem, but some of us were just scared to the bone. And I think it was very good. I got to see the ambassadors blossom in this regard. Some of their nervous quirks they have been able to get rid of. Myself included, I think it has improved my public speaking. And I think they're doing a very good job, especially in that regard, because
Indeed.
it helps improve your confidence going forward and what's not as well too.
Indeed.
And that's something that all of the ambassadors said that they needed to work on.
Claudia, talk to me a little bit about interacting with, did you get a chance, by the way, to interact with other parish ambassadors, you know, because we have the pandemic and there are so many protocols that we can't associate as the way we would want. Did you have those kinds of training sessions where other parish ambassadors were, and what was that camaraderie like?
Yeah, we had a few outings with the rest of the parish ambassadors. It was okay to interact with them because you don't know who you are competing against and what they are like.
So far so good. Talk to me a little bit more about your experience so far, because I heard about the project from Jamelia. Were you also part of that gift sharing project too?
Yes, please.
And how was that for you?
It was good to get out in the community and give to the people that really need the supplies.
What have you learned about yourself, Kodia, through this experience?
Well, I learned that I need to be more outspoken and try to put my shyness away.
Oh, you're a little shy, but so far so good, right? So far so good. The shyness
Yes,
is
please.
going. Jamelia, what about you? What have you learned about yourself having gone through this program so far?
Having gone through this program, I learned that I am a very giving person. Like I said before, it was great to be able to help people in need. I actually needed that this year because through the COVID pandemic, it was rough for me. So it was great to be able to help those people.
Give me one thing you've learned about your parish, Christ Church, that prior to now you didn't know at all. What was that one thing you learned?
We learned so much things, but one of them, I learned that the Christ Church Parish Church was not built in Churchill initially. It was actually built on Dover Beach. It was destroyed by, yes, please. It was destroyed by fire, then a hurricane, then a flood, and then it was built on Churchill.
You just taught me that too. I had no clue. I always thought it was always there. What about you, Cody? What have you learned about Christ Church that prior to this you did not know?
Well, I learned that we have a graveyard in Newton for the slaves that were buried.
Yes.
Over there.
That was one thing that stood out for you. Cody, I want you to talk to the young men of Christ Church now. I want you to invite them to be a part of the Parish Independence Committee and a part of this program. What would you say to them?
Well, I would tell the young men to come and do the program. It will help boost the mentality and show people what they are made of.
What about you, Jamelia? What do you say to the young girls out there who are watching, who are also finding the whole program very interesting? What do you say to them today?
I would tell them 110% to come out and put themselves out there, because I know a lot of young people, a lot of persons were asking me what the program is about. They would like to join. So I have had those comments a lot already.
So now you're encouraging, you're working from that perspective. Would you stay with the program, or when your year is done, would you give it up and turn your back on the Parish Independence Committee, or do you want to stay working with it?
I would not turn my back on the Parish Independence Committee, no. I would stay working with it.
Because you like it so much, right?
Yes, please.
Amoy, look at the people of Christ Church and invite them to lend their support to you tomorrow night, to all of your work tomorrow night, yourself and the parish ambassadors. Why should people of Christ Church tune in tomorrow to support you?
Well, it is going to be fabulous. We are making history because we are going to be doing it different than we have done it in previous years. So that should be something interesting. Come out and learn about your parishes, not only Christ Church. Come and learn about your parishes and lend support to the young people. This is our next generation. So hop on board and give us your support.
Tune in tomorrow and give support of Christ Church indeed. Would you two stay with the program and continue to support the work of the Parish Independence Committee?
Yes, definitely. I will. Not more than likely not in an attendant capacity, but for sure, this is something that I see myself doing in the future.
What is it about about the program though that you think is so fascinating?
The cultural element of it, I think it is good that we get the people involved. We have an outlet for the younger generation, let them know that there is an alternative to what is out there, standard, unfortunately. The Jamila and Kodia, they have explained a lot of the things that they've gone through in terms of training, in terms of self-improvement, development, and so many things that are available. We did a course, not going on, but we did a course in video editing. And that was so integral for the ambassadors because they created a video on touring Barbados, which highlighted a lot of the places within Christchurch. So that video will be available to the public in due course. I don't want to talk too much about it, but that is something that I'm very proud of both of these ambassadors for pulling out. They did it exceptionally.
Beautiful.
And they did it themselves, but with the help of others, but they took part in it themselves, and it was great. And of course, sharing it with the nation.
That's great. So I want to thank each of you for joining me this morning for representing the Parish of Christchurch. Amoy Gildenborn, who is the attendant, and Jamelia Callender and Kodia Paris, the Parish Ambassadors for Christchurch. Tomorrow is going to be spectacular. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you too. Now, tomorrow night is going to be spectacular, folks. It is going to be at 8 o'clock right here on TV8, on our Facebook and YouTube channels, and every good reason for you to support all of these young people, all of these energetic, very patriotic, very enthused young Barbadians for their parish and for us as a society as a whole. So I encourage you, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, do not miss it. Do not miss it. It's going to be the night on which we announce the Outstanding Parish Ambassadors in the Spirit of the Nation Show 2021 live on TV8 and our Facebook and YouTube channels as well, supported by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment and the Community Independence Celebration Secretariat. Thank you so very much, and I really want to encourage you to join at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're just 1 minute now after 7 o'clock. Still to come, we'll share with you that book, Dare to Believe. And the author will join us as we talk a little bit about what's within the pages and how we can see ourselves and rip ourselves apart to begin to rebuild who we are and dare to believe and dare to dream. We'd also this morning be connecting with the author and the lady behind the book too of Aussie Moore. That book by G. Addington Ford. We hear him and we'll talk to his daughter Dale Ford a little bit more about that as well. And that Bajan Afar is in the UK. She is listed as among 20 influential people in the travel industry. I know you're asking, who is she? And what's her story? We'll share that with you straight ahead as well. But don't forget, stick near to your phones. We'll be calling someone this morning for an opportunity to win in our Christmas promotion. You know what to do. I'd expect you to do exactly what you're supposed to do. So look out for that opportunity and a whole lot more straight ahead. Let's head to the news now. Here's Wendy Burke.
CARICOM is focused on transforming the agricultural sector in Barbados and other member states. Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett says it became critical, especially recently when airports and shipping routes were disrupted due to the onset of COVID-19 pandemic. She was among the panel for the latest Caribbean Economic Forum with the focus on promoting regional growth and development.
We didn't know where the food was going to come from because we have a, 50 billion, 30 billion, whatever it is, food bill, import bill, but we couldn't determine that we were secure in our sources of food supply. And so the emphasis now on making sure that we are investing in an agriculture sector that is more modern, that can produce food more efficiently, all of that has become very important. And these are the things that will enable us to be able to transform our economies going forward.
Dr. Barnett says several proposals touted have become critical now.
We've come to realize a couple of things. A lot of the stuff that we were talking about before, they need to innovate. They need to include ICT development into the way we produce, sell, consume. All of that has become now one of the most important things. The way governments deliver services using the IT, so that e-government has now finally risen to the top of everyone's agenda. And all of these things are going to be really very important for us to transform our economies and do the things that we've been talking about a long time. And there's a greater impetus now for addressing these things.
2 more Barbadians have been added to the list of COVID-19 casualties. A 51-year-old woman died from the virus on Wednesday at the Harrison Point Isolation Facility. She was vaccinated. Additionally, a 61-year-old man who was unvaccinated passed away at the facility yesterday. To date, the number of deaths from COVID-19 is 234. The COVID strain Omicron has now been identified in 20 countries worldwide, and as a result, health officials in Barbados are exploring various ways to identify the variant. The head of the Besto Santos lab, Dr. Sonji Beckles, says they're in the preliminary stages of working out a way to do the test for Omicron.
We will add some additional testing to the lab. So we do have some specific primers that look for what they call the S gene dropout or the S gene failure of this particular new variant. We do have reagents in stock in the laboratory that we can look for that particular dropout gene for our testing, and that can be used as a proxy to determine if Omicron may be here. Mind you, that gene is also associated with the variant out of the UK. So what you would have to do also is verify, first of all, or confirm whether is it actually the variant from the UK or is it really the new variant.
Today marks International Day for Persons with Disabilities, and WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus says disability is a part of humanity, and in times of disaster and pandemics, they must not be forgotten.
The International Day of Persons with Disabilities is an important opportunity to remember that disability is part of being human. All of us will experience some form of disability during our lives. Currently, an estimated 1 billion people, 15% of the world's population, have a disability severe enough that it limits their participation with their families and communities. 80% of those people live in low and middle income countries where access to basic health services may be especially limited for people with disabilities. Today, we call for a world in which everyone, including those with disabilities, have access to the health services they need. It's especially important that policymakers engage with the disability community during health emergencies like the COVID-19 pandemic.
And that's a wrap for news. I'm Wendy Burke. We now turn you back over to Pearson Bowen and Morning Barbados.
Wendy, thank you. It's 7:07, a break, and then we come back. Our Crumbs question of the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're approaching 9 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's time for you to get on your phone. Yep, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now. I have a question for you in today's Crumbs Bakery question of the day. So, are you ready for this? Get your thinking caps on. 228-5562 or 228-5563, and it's a spelling question. So don't look for it on your screen. Here's the question. Spell for me. How do you spell Crispy's fried chicken? Those are 3 words. Crispy's fried chicken. How do you spell that? Call me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Call me and tell me, how does one spell Crispy's fried chicken? That's the question. So, let's see if you get it right. We have someone there?
Yeah,
228-5562 or 63. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. What's your first name?
Angela.
Hello, Angela. What parish are you watching us from, Angela?
St. Michael.
You have to laugh. All right, Angela, go away. Take it away. Spell for me Crispy's fried chicken.
K-R-I-S-P-Y and
come on. Quick.
That is crispy, right? Fry is F-R-I-E-B-C-H-I-C-K-E-N.
Who's that helping you? Angela, who's that helping you?
What?
Angela, who's that helping you?
Behind.
I know.
Only
So Miss Angela, Miss Angela.
Right.
What was my question?
How you spell crispy fried chicken?
That was not my question.
That ain't question? You said that ain't question?
No, that was. Thank you, Angela. Talk to them. Talk to me. But thank you. Here. All right, good girl. My question is, how do you spell Crispy's fried chicken? How do you spell Crispy's fried chicken? I thought I was enunciating very clearly. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi. What's your first name?
Rosemary.
Hello, Rosemary. What parish are you watching us from?
Christchurch.
Rosemary of Christchurch. I think you'll get it right. Go ahead. How do you spell Crispy's fried chicken?
K-R-I-S-P-Y F-R-I-E-D-C-H-I-C-K-E-N.
Rosemary, were you paying attention just now when I spoke to Angela?
No, please.
Oh, you weren't?
No,
because
please.
I will tell you what I told Angela. You're wrong.
Why?
Why? Because I asked you to spell something that you did not spell.
But repeat.
No. One try. One try, Rosemary. Thank you so much for trying.
What I heard.
Yep, that's what you thought you heard. I took the time and I overemphasized words so that you could get it right, but you did not spell what I said. So, come on, let's take another call. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Listen very carefully. How do you spell Crispy's fried chicken? That's my clue. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. I'm
Good.
hanging there.
All right, good. Hang in there, girl. What's your first name?
Yvonne,
Yvonne. Yvonne, what parish are you watching from?
St. Michael,
Yvonne, all right. Spell it for me. Crispy's fried chicken.
Krispy apostrophe S, fried, Fried, chicken, Chicken.
Correct. That is it. Why did you spell it Crispies like that? Because you heard me say it like that?
Crispies.
That's what I said. Didn't you hear me emphasize it?
Yes.
Right. Thank you. You're absolutely right. Crispies fried chicken is what it is. You're right. So you stay on the phone. We'll take some more details from you. And thank you for being such a good spelling bee. All right. She's absolutely right. Crispies fried chicken. That's how it's spelled. All right, we're going to take a break here, 13 after the hour. And that is it for today's Crumbs question of the day. We'll take the break, and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Kerry Clark is the author of the book Dare to Believe. She's considered herself to be a very bold woman. She can represent herself. So this morning we're happy to be joined by her. Kerry Clark, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I heard you laughing. Why did you chuckle?
How you said it. She's claimed to be a very bold woman. She can represent herself. And that is correct.
There you go. So the book is called Dare to Believe. And my first question in my head when I saw the title was, believe in who or believe in what? What are you trying to achieve with this book, Dare to Believe?
Okay, so the book Dare to Believe is a book that I have composed, so to share with everyone. Believe in yourself. And believing in yourself stems back to believing in God, who is the creator of all things. And basically, many persons have desires on their lips. We have a lot of desires on our lips because of where we live. We see, and man has been made to aspire for greatness. So we have desires on our lips. But those desires are many times don't come into fruition because of the position of our heart. And there's so many characteristics that are internal that prevent the external. So Dare to Believe speaks to dealing with me from the inside so that I can produce what I want to manifest on the outside.
Our insides have been developed over years, you know, from experiences, from location, from a whole host of things that cause us to be very firm in what our positions that we hold. And you're saying to me, because one of the things you also said, it is a must that we get up and get moving. But to get up and get moving means I have to unravel a number of things within me as well as that keep me steady. So how do I now dare to believe when I am already who I am?
But you're so correct. And we do not recognize that. You know, as we live in life, we pick up a lot of norms, cultures, and we carry on. You know, we talk about generations. We carry on generational attitudes, behaviors, mindset, those kind of things. And it is not to say that it is directly a negative, but it must come back into alignment with the person that you are, because you're unique in who you are, and your uniqueness has been given for a purpose. And so many times those things cloud it. You know, sometimes we talk about children going to school, and when they go to school, you know, teachers are one of our greatest leaders. Yes. But sometimes there's a lot of trauma that goes on there in homes. Some homes you get, some people are not coming from the best homes, and then you get other persons coming from great homes, but they still fall into low self-esteem. So here we have that we are going ahead with what we've seen, and we run with great tenacity with what has been demonstrated to us, but we don't stop. We don't ever stop to identify who we are. What do I have to offer? What comprises of me? And when I find out now what comprises of me, it helps me to understand the things that hinder me from showing forth I am already comprised of. And so then it gives me the opportunity, dare to believe, gives me the opportunity to begin to unravel this, to peel back these layers, to actually expose. It's I would like to think that persons who would read this book, as it says, it's a reflective journal. It's going to take you beyond the surface, because we understand that when something comes from the surface, it has already taken place on the inside. Let's think of a baby. You know, a mother carries a child 9-10 months in her tummy. You don't see that baby manifest until that day of delivery. But all along, things were happening. Things were happening, some good and some bad. But here we have now that persons, when we are manifesting, we don't recognize that what we manifest is already what has been placed on the inside. So we want to clean up the inside. We want to expose it. You will never know what's there until you tap in and open it up. And then when you get in and open it up, then you can understand what hinders you, what's been hindering me. Every year I make a New Year resolution. Every year I have great dreams and aspirations, but I can't seem to get past a certain part. Come on, let's go back. Let's, yes, this is great. The vision is great, but the vision now needs not only a plan, but it needs me to expose that which isn't working so that I can have an effective strategic plan.
You're quite right. And, you know, a lot of times we forget that we have all been wonderfully made in the image of God. So there are certain potentialities that we do have that we have either put to the back or not yet realized. And so the book Dare to Believe says you can be, but to acknowledge and to put that into action, you have to understand whose you are. And that's where you said, you know, we need to recognize ourselves as servants of God, and to be, that He gives us the power to achieve what we want to achieve. So, but it means a lot of introspection, but above all, a lot of honesty. Because in order to make that change, we have to say it for what it is. Is that what you're trying to achieve?
You know, I always believe this. Many times we purchase items and it comes with a manual, but we don't ever take time to read that manual because we go on what we know or what we've heard or what we've seen. But if we would take time to go back to the manufacturer, if we would take time to go back to God, our creator, He is our creator. You know, I say to everyone, look around at creation. I don't have to plant grass, but it grows. It tells me that there is a great, big, wonderful God who knew that I needed, and He placed it there. And if it is that He could provide something as simple as grass, how much more could He provide for me? And so, yes, we have many ideologies, you know, where we ourselves many times, and we have to be honest, our hands have been many times our greatest downfall because we go ahead and let these direct us and let this direct us. But we never stop to understand before I can use these, there's something that has made these and is greater than these. And I need to tap into that source. And I want to say to everyone who's listening, tapping into that source is not a case of coming from a place of condemnation, because that's what the world gives. That's what people give. Leave that out. Because if you start on that note, you're not going to get much further. But we need to come from the position of listen to what the word of God says in the book of Genesis. And God created man, and he said it was good.
Yes.
So if God said it was good, come on, there's greatness on the inside of you.
Yes, yes.
And if we could tap into that, those simple words. You know, one of the things I placed in the book also is, if you can't see it, and this is like God saying this to us, if you can't see it, then you'll never be it. So I need to work on what I see. And the only way I can work on what I see is by the knowledge I begin to put in. So I need to begin to I need to do, you know, it's Christmas time, so we're going to do a clean on the home. Come on, do a clean on yourself. Do a clean on me. And I'm going to put out some things, all that rubbish that I've bottled in for so long. You know, we go through the year, we get hurt, we get disappointed. Some of us have lost our jobs. You know, some of us have lost family members. This has been a very trying year. However, I'm still here. And I'm looking internally, I'm saying there are things on the inside of me that I don't need. I don't need them. So why am I allowing them to take up space?
Right. Don't carry the baggage.
Them out. I don't. I move them out. And I now begin to put in what? The truth. Because you know you can replace garbage with a light.
Of course.
Come on, we don't need lights. I need the truth. And if I can get to the source who created me, he's going to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
The good truth and the ugly truth. And sometimes the ugly truth is needed.
Yes, you're right. We need that shake-up call sometimes. Sometimes you need to sit on the hospital bed for just a moment in order to get better. And so this book allows us to be able to do the introspection, but it also gives us the impetus to effect the change in who we are, and then we can dare to believe that we can achieve all that we have been created to achieve. And so where can one get a copy of this book? Because it sounds like a really good thing to gift to someone. So where can we get copies of the book, Dare to Believe?
So I'm now ordering, you know, even that's a testimony. I've had a challenge with the book, like bringing it out, but I said, God, this was one of my goals and I need to have this accomplished. And, you know, miraculously, you know, I went to Shalev Publishing and I expressed to her what I wanted. She said, yes, it can be done. And it was done. So the book is, you can pre-order with me. And my email address is carrieclark161@gmail.com, or my number is 230-1408. You can pre-order with me and I'll get the book here to you. Means that it now has to come in and be arrived, but I am trusting God. Come on, we're daring to believe. Believe with me that it will get here before the end of the year. So that's carrieclark161@gmail.com or 230-1408. I guarantee you, I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
See what I tell you? She's confident. This girl can handle herself. And on that note, I gotta say thank you so much, Carrie Clark. You see, we came full circle right back to what I told him at the beginning. She's confident, she can handle herself. Carrie Clark, thank you so much for introducing us to the book, Dare to Believe. I want to encourage everyone to join you on the journey and to get a copy of the book. Get a copy of the book. And even if your curiosity...
And it's on Amazon.
There you go. Even if you're even remotely curious, that's the beginning of a good start. That's a really good start to all of this. So pre-order today by contacting Carrie Clark at carrieclark161@gmail.com, or you can call her on 230-1408. 230-1408. Carrie Clark, thank you. All the best with this journey. Thank you.
Looking forward to hearing from you, Pearson, for a call for one of the books.
There you go. It's been said, so it's out in the atmosphere already. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Carrie Clark is her name. The book, Dare to Believe. 26 and a half after the hour. We're taking a break and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados. 27 and a half after the hour now. Have you heard of Aussie Moore? Then you might have had this book. If you don't have this book, this is what we're talking about now. The book Aussie Moore by G. Addington Ford, and it starts in the annals of Barbadian folklore. Perhaps the best known legendary figure in the oral tradition was Aussie Moore. But was he a real man? That's the beginning of this book, and it's the beginning of a journey. Dale Ford, who is the daughter of the author of the book, G. Addington Ford, joins us now. Dale, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Morning Barbados. How is everybody doing
Good
today?
to be doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Good to see you. Now, this book is so interesting. I mean, I started to read it, and I could not stop. And I read right through the book already, Dale. And it starts with, who was this man, Aussie Moore? And everybody asks, there has to be a fictional character.
Well,
So-
it's an easy read. It's only a few pages. But yes, he is an actual person. George Ethelbert Oscar Moore was his name. And he was born in the 1900s. He died in the 1970s, I believe. And he was an actual person, but a lot of the jokes that are attributed to him, they weren't jokes that he actually said, or they weren't experiences that he actually had. Because he wasn't a highly intellectual man, but he was not stupid either. He had his own brand of intelligence and perception and understanding things, and people made jokes out of that. But a lot of the things that you read in the book, or if you were around in the 70s and the 60s when the Aussie Moore jokes were popular, a lot of those things didn't even happen to him at all.
But it's such a funny book. I think Barbados almost revere this man, Aussie Moore. And it's so funny how G. Addington, for your father, was able to just capture all of this and enlighten our imagination about this character known as Aussie Moore in Barbados. And what I also like is that you've now produced this activity book. This too caught my attention, and the little boy in me came out, because in this book, we have opportunity to spell, to color in, and to just know more about him. So I also want to hear from you a little bit more about the activity book and the process in getting this together.
Well, the activity book is a follow-on, as you rightly said, from the Aussie Moore book. We wanted to introduce Aussie Moore, the character, as you said, which is legendary, to a young and new generation, younger generation, because we know that young people like to see things. They're more visual. So we decided to pull the jokes out and create them as animations, which we believe will get their attention. And from what we're seeing, it is getting their attention. And we also wanted to do an activity book for the little ones, because even though they can follow the animations, they can actually do activities now that will help them to remember. If you write something or you color something, or if you're involved in a book, that it kind of stays with you longer. So as the activities are for them to color, it has an information about Aussie Moore, it has an information about Barbados, specifically about Popover, about where Aussie Moore was born in Lanes Gap, Paynes Bay, St. James. So we want to get young people involved because, the world is rapidly changing, Barbados is rapidly changing, and there's certain things that we feel that are important to our history and heritage that we don't want to be lost.
But a lot of times, we've heard the name G. Addington Ford. If you're young enough, like me, you'll know who he is. You've seen him on TV. He's been on TV, but he hasn't been on TV talking about the war for a long time. And I know you would have recently done, and since he could not be with us this morning, we've done a nice little video of him. And I want to share that with you, and we'll come back and talk a bit more about it after as well. So take a look at in the voice and the face of G. Addington Ford talking about Aussie Moore and his work thus far. Take a look.
I am G. Addington Ford, author of a number of books, including Aussie Moore and It Happened in Barbados. This book, It Happened in Barbados, I had given the little write-up about Aussie, and I had included some Aussie Moore jokes. And then somebody, this R.J. Watson, a reader and a friend of mine, suggested to me, why don't you do an Aussie Moore book? And I said, no, that's a good idea. So I did, and came up with this. I've never met him, but Peggy McGarry, she was writing something about him, and she went and interviewed him. And he said, my lady, most of what I said about me ain't true. So you can write what I like. Something like that he said. Well, I envision if he was living back in the 60s and so on, I envision how the men in those days were dressed with fairly big trousers, and he has them with his trousers like rolled up. In those days, fellas used to wear some homemade shoes made of like the bottom of carter and so on. One or two people wore that, so I invested in that. And of course, the hat. Aussie Moore was off being there one day in a Moses boat, fishing with another man. The two accidentally went to the side of the boat together and it capsized, dumping them into the sea. But Moses boat is a very small boat. Aussie stuck up for sure with his fishing companion screaming after him all the time. Help me, Aussie, help me, I can't swim too good. Aussie ignored him, continued swimming. He crawled up on the beach and panted, good. I said to myself, now I'm going back and see if he. There was a time, remember he talked about everybody wearing a hat, a cap. And one time it became fashionable to wear a cap with the peak behind. Aussie wanted to adopt the fashion. He went in the store and told the attendant, I want one of them caps with the peak behind. She told him that there was no such cap, and she placed one on his head, then turned the peak around. He said, I don't want that. All the boys bung, but me got hat with the peak behind and I want one. The attendant went back inside and brought out the same cap, holding it with the peak towards her. That is the one I want.
Oh, gospel. Listen, Aussie Moore is a character, Dale. A character indeed. And your father, G. Addington Ford, has been able to capture all of that, the essence of what it is. It makes you smile. It makes you pause and ponder for a moment. You know, that's as crazy as it sounds, it making a lot of sense. He saved himself and then he went back to save someone. You know, so we have on our social media, if you look at your screen, someone is asking Gregory Cummings, he says, where did she say Aussie was born? Where did you say Aussie was born?
He was born in Lanes Gap, Paynes Bay, St. James.
Right, there you go. And of course, you get all this information. And Patricia Bennett saying, Aussie lived across the street from a cousin of mine in Lanes Gap, Paynes Bay. I actually met him in person. And that's what the books do. Yeah, they create the conversation, but they also create the information, the opportunity for information sharing. And this is what this is about. So the activity book is great for children, it's great for adults. Reverse Pearson. It's also great for children as well, but then we also have this, the book we can read everything about Aussie Moore. If we want to get a copy of both of them, how can we do so over this season?
Well, tomorrow we're going to be at Brighton Farmers Market. Brighton's Farmers Market is from about maybe 7 till 10 o'clock, so we're going to be there. You can get them from Cloister bookstores in Sheraton and in Bridgetown. You can also get them from the Barbados Museum. And from Monday, you'll be able to get them from Days bookstores. And of course, you can call me too at 571-5670, and we can deliver the book for you. The book is $12. Or you can email me at Dale, D-A-L-E-B, as in boy, F-O-R-D-E, daleb4@gmail.com. But of course, you can go to the bookstores, like I said, all locations of Cloister, from Monday Days bookstores, and from the Barbados Museum.
And if you can't remember any of that, call us at CBC. We'll track Dale down for you. Dale?
That's right.
There you go. Glenda Yard on social media saying, when I was small, everything was Aussie Moore, and she's laughing out loud, as all of us know. And so it's a great opportunity for us to relive the moments, but also to enjoy the moments. Aussie Moore was my grandfather's friend. Vidalyn Green is saying, imagine that. You see? It's coming out.
He's a natural person. Yeah, he's a natural person.
So don't ask that question again, everybody. It was a real man. Dale, thank you. I want to encourage everyone to go get copies of it today, because it will create great conversation pieces. It's great for the children to be able to engage with it through the activity book as well. And all the best. And tell G. Addington Ford we say good morning.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, he's watching. Thank you.
Good man. Thank you, Dale.
All right.
All right. Isn't that fantastic? And the way that we thank you too for engaging with us through our social media as well. So let us know, and to confirm, it's a real man, but this is a great book. Both books are. Get your copies today and begin to engage with it as well. We're coming right back with more after this.
Aussie Moore was a real man born on the 30th of March 1900 in Lanes Gap, Paynes Bay, St. James. His real name was George Ethelbert Oscar Moore, Jokes attributed to him were common in the 1950s and 1960s. There were either a strange twist in logic, an inability to appreciate figurative language, or just plain corny. They usually started, wait, you hear this one? You hear the latest one about Aussie Moore? When Aussie Moore was a little boy at school, the teacher asked him one day to spell cow. He spelt it K-O-W. And the teacher punished him. Outside, Aussie complained to one of his classmates.
We just little children, and she would always give me big things like cow to spell instead of giving me little things like mosquito.
Twenty to the hour now. You know, we're still in here cracking up at Aussie Moore, as is our guest as well. We'll meet now a Bajan Afar in the United Kingdom. Jamie Lee Abtar, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. Wasn't that funny?
It was hilarious.
I love,
and the thing is, I never knew he was a real person, so that was really interesting to hear.
So now we know we can learn so much more from those books, the Aussie Moore book and the activity book as well. But listen, you're living in the UK. You have been listed, first of all, no, before you get to that part, Abtar? What is that? Where did you get that name from? Oh my
goodness. That's always the first question that I get. That's always the first question. Bajan, I'm sorry, it doesn't add up.
Nope.
But it's my married name. It's my married name. And originally it's Jamie Lee Crick, which is actually still quite different for Barbados. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. Listen, it must feel amazing to be listed as one of the 20 influential women in the travel industry. How did your head grow when you got the news?
I was quite surprised, to be honest with you. It was a surprise to say. I don't think my head grew because I'm quite a humble person,
All right.
and I actually don't tell many people that, to be honest with you. You know, I keep it very low key. Yes. So whenever someone brings it up to me, it's always like, oh yeah, that did happen.
Wow. So when you got the call to be told that you were selected to be one of the 20, what was your first reaction?
I guess it was one of surprise, first of all. I think, but also, I think just surprise really at first. And then I guess after years of having worked in the industry and you kind of built your kind of brand and your reputation, it's kind of, I guess, at some point expected as well. Yes. So it was good to see that acknowledgement of like all of your hard work and all the things that you've put in during that time.
Oh, that's great. We're celebrating here with you in Barbados for real. Now, you're into marketing and business development in travel and leisure and lifestyle. Do you get to market Barbados as part of that activity?
No, I don't particularly. I do. I'd say that I do because some of the clients I work with, they do promote Barbados. And I'm always, you know, my accent, for the time people hear my voice, it's always Barbados, Barbados. Tell me everything about Barbados. Yes. I know, like, all my friends, the editors or media, they call me like, where should I go? What should I do? Tell me this. So I get to talk about Barbados a lot. but not in a kind of official capacity, but definitely I do get to share the great stories about Barbados and the things to do.
Does your husband understand everything you say every time?
Funnily enough, he grew up in Barbados.
Oh, really?
He was born in the UK, but he grew up in Barbados. But we did meet in the UK.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he gets it. He gets it.
He totally gets it. He went to school there, so he definitely gets it.
Oh my gospel. So where exactly in the UK are you though?
So I am in South London. So I don't know if you're familiar with like Dulwich area. So that's where we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the temperature like today?
Today is it's grey, it's rainy, and it's probably like 4 degrees. And like last night was like -1, so it was really cold last night. Yeah.
Listen, you made my spirit shiver just knowing that those were the temperatures. I recall my first experience in the UK. You know, it was cold even to go into the bathroom. You don't want to do anything at all. You don't want to leave your room. And I don't know how you survive. How do you survive in that extreme temperature? We call it extreme.
I know it takes a while. It was really a big culture shock at first, like getting accustomed to like the cold weather. But I mean, once you get your right clothing and you get the gloves and the right coats and you know, you don't buy a Primark coat, you invest in a proper like coat. That's my trick. I definitely invest in a really good warm clothing that allows you to stay warm. But I think for me the hardest bit is having to get up like during the winter and you have to wake up and it's still dark and then you come back home and it's still dark, and just finding the motivation to like do things is, you know, that's the hardest part. That's the hardest bit for me, actually, really.
I can imagine. Now, COVID-19, and the UK has also been hit quite hard by COVID-19. How was it for you making those adjustments as a consequence of the protocols then put in place?
Oh wow, it's really 2020 was really a difficult time. Of course, a lot of my business is primarily travel and lifestyle brands. Travel practically went on a standstill. So all the campaigns, all the activities that we had planned with the different destinations, our tourist boards, our operators that we worked with, all went on pause, which took me, I'll be honest with you, it took me 2 weeks. I was just in bed like in tears because like what's happening? It's just everything coming to a pause was really, really difficult. In terms of like the protocols, I mean, in the first kind of lockdown was really difficult because everything was closed. I think we weren't familiar with it at all. No one knew what COVID was, so everyone was really much indoors. I spent a lot of time in the park. So luckily in South London there are loads of lovely parks so you can go walk around, and that was kind of my escape during that time, I'd say, to allow me like to just recenter myself and get it back together. Because we had like they gave us 1 hour. I think you were allowed like 1 hour of workout time, or you could only go out to work out. So jogging became my thing during that time. Jogging definitely became my thing, and I have 2 little kids, so that was quite hard. I think that bit was really difficult, like, you know, constantly having them in the house, having to homeschool and still work from home, and you know, just that balance between the two. It was a difficult time, and so we survived it. You know, we were able to pivot in different ways, like, you know, find new things to do with our brand and like connect and do for our clients and our customers. So it works. It has kind of worked its way out. Now we have the new variant, which is giving me more anxiety.
Yes. Well, I mean, that too we'll get through. That too we'll get through.
But we definitely will.
Yeah. What's your favorite time of year in the UK?
It's springtime. I love spring. I love spring. I don't know actually. Actually, I love autumn as well. But I think I love autumn for the autumn fashions.
You're such a Bajan girl.
100%. I like autumn for the autumn fashion.
So do you? I mean, Christmas there is vastly different from Christmas here in Barbados. Do you miss the Bajan Christmas?
I do a lot. I really do. It's so different. Even I've kind of, in some ways, I've actually started to warm to like a UK Christmas because it's very different. You know, you have that cold experience, you get the snow if it snows. So it's a really different and it's really magical experience to have here in the UK. But nothing quite beats like, you know, waking up on mornings, going to church with my mom, you know, for 5 o'clock service, getting all dressed up, you know, coming home to my dad making breakfast and spending the entire day with my family. And actually, I was talking to some people about this yesterday. We had this talk. I was telling them about a Bajan Christmas, what it's like, you know, and you go into all your friends' houses and you enjoy all that time. So it is vastly different, but I do miss a Bajan Christmas. Actually, my kids are in Barbados. They deserted me. They were like, Mom, it's cold. See you later. And they're probably watching this now like, Mommy.
So where are they in Barbados at the moment, do you think?
So they're with their grandparents. So they have both of their from both sides. They're both they're all in Barbados now. So they're spending time with all of their grandparents from both sides and their aunts and their cousins and all that great stuff. So they're enjoying it at the minute.
So at least you have a bit of reprieve. They're not here. So they're not under my feet. How old are the children?
A little bit.
How old are the children?
5 and 8. Just Alianza.
How long have they been here now so far?
So they came on the 9th of November, so about 3 weeks, so, and they'll be there like over Christmas, and then they're back to the UK in January.
I don't know how you can cope with that, to have them away from you for so long.
It's really hard. It's really hard, but WhatsApp, you know, and we're lucky to have like this technology that allows them. But they're like, Mom, when you come here, I'm not even coming back.
That's nice. How do you stay informed and keep informed with what's happening in Barbados?
I'd say I'm online. I'm very active, like, and following all the different platforms like CBC, Barbados Today, the Nation newspaper. Just keeping up to date. Here in in the UK, we've got like a community WhatsApp group as well. Nice. With the diaspora, which is run by a fantastic guy. So I keep up with everything that happens. I think I find out about things before. I often call my mom and tell her this has happened, and she's like, "Oh, how do you know that?" It's like,
listen, we just transitioned. We have now our first president of Barbados. We just transitioned to becoming a republic, or a parliamentary republic. What do you think of that transition?
I think it's such an exciting time to be a Barbadian, and being able to chart our own path in this world. We have an amazing leader as a prime minister, and now we have another female. Not only that, but we have 2 amazing female leaders. I do a lot of work in terms of women and travel here in the UK as well. So that for me was like everybody was like, yes, this is amazing. I think it's just an amazing time to be a Barbadian and to represent this country and to go out there and having the opportunity for us to chart our own path in the world as such a small island. So we're excited about what the future has in store for Barbados.
A prestigious magazine known as Forbes magazine had an interview with you. That must have been one of those big things that occurred in your life.
That was a big moment. That really was a big moment. Just the acknowledgement of all that hard work that you put in. They've interviewed me regarding, like, I talk a lot here in the UK about diversity and inclusivity in the travel industry. Yes, I wear many hats. I wear lots of different hats. I talk a lot about diversity and inclusivity and how brands can connect and engage with diverse travel audiences, and also from the women and travel perspective, how can we have more leaders within the industry who are from a Black or Asian minority ethnic background in senior positions, because essentially that's where the change happens. So that was what the interview was. They were profiling me regarding that role, and it was really exciting to be featured in Forbes. It's such a prestigious magazine, as you said.
That's beautiful. I am so proud of you, Jamie Lee Abtar, to meet you this morning. I want to thank you for joining me, but as we do so, I want you to say good morning to your little ones here in Barbados.
Good morning, Jasiri and Alianza, and hello, Mom. I know you're watching this, and Dad, and everybody else.
Wonderful, wonderful. We wish you only the very best, Jamie Lee. As always, thank you so much for joining us. It has been my pleasure talking to you. You're such a fun young woman, and you're doing very well representing Barbados there. So congratulations on everything you've achieved so far, and keep representing us proudly.
Thank you so much, Pearson.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Jamie Lee Abtar, not that last name, is by marriage, but her husband grew up in Barbados. So, wow, wonderful indeed. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to take a break right here, but get next to your phone. We're calling someone for a chance to win in our Christmas promotion after this break.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so come on, let's see if you're going to be a winner today. Turn on your phone. Turn on your phone. We're calling somebody right now, a chance for you to win in our Christmas promotion. And you know what to do, right? Answer your phone correctly and you could be a winner today. So let's get cracking. We have a 1 man and 2 women. Those are the options I have available to me today. So let's see who we get on the phone. So let's see. Listen very carefully. Don't wait for me to answer. You answer. Are we there? We have somebody on the air? Oh, 'cause I'm waiting for the dial tones and everything else to come through to me. I'm not here. Right, so let's see. Nobody's answering that phone?
To make it your...
Okay, let's try for another call then. I want to hear the phone ringing in my ear. That's why, so I know that that person is there. So if you answer the phone correctly, you have a chance to win this morning. We have a wonderful prize to give to someone today. We want your Christmas to be merry. So answer the phone. Answer the phone. A number of you have given your cell number, and that's always a little bit tricky because we're calling from a landline. So make sure your phones are well topped up and ready. So let's see. Let's see. Be quiet, Pearson.
Wait and give me for Christmas.
Beg your pardon?
Wait and give me for Christmas.
I got that for you. What you gonna give me for Christmas?
Listen, that's a competition that 107 have on, right? Every time I answer my phone, and God be saying that I enter the competition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For true? So
Yeah.
tell me more about what they're doing. What are they doing? Tell me.
It's a competition that CDC have on.
Uh-huh.
And you just got to send in your name, your full name, your number, and
So that's what you did?
Huh?
And that's what you did?
Yeah. So every time
Oh.
my phone ring, I gotta answer it. Wait, and give me for Christmas.
Oh, so you sending your name?
Yeah, I done send your number to you. I done tell
To
you
who?
how to do it.
You gonna text it to me?
Huh?
You gonna text it to me?
I done text the number to you.
You know my number?
Huh?
Do you know my number?
It just come on my phone.
Huh?
It just come on my phone.
So what's my number?
I don't know it often.
You know who you're talking to?
No.
Ma'am, this is Sophia?
Yeah.
Sophia, you don't know who you're talking to?
No.
Listen, Sophia, you on TV here?
Then
Sophia
you-
Walker, you're talking to Wickham. Sophia Wickham, you're talking to Pearson Boyne. Morning Barbados, that's where you are at the moment. You catch yourself.
When I go for Christmas. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great, Sophia. You have been a great sport. You are absolutely right. You know, and you've sold the competition so well for us, Sophia.
Yes, please.
So, are you saying to me, therefore, that every time your phone rings, that's how you answer?
Yes, I just answer my phone like that all the time when I get me for Christmas.
I like the fact that you said, I'm going to text you the information so you can enter too. You are such a great ambassador for what we're doing today, Sophia Wickham. Congratulations.
Yes,
Let me tell you what you've won, Sophia.
Yes,
you have
please.
won a $100 gift voucher, $100 voucher from Uplift Rehab and Safety Supplies. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So what's going to happen now? Someone from our marketing department, because we have your name and your number, they're going to contact you and make arrangements for you to collect your voucher, all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Sophie. You played so well. I am so proud of you. What parish are you in?
St. Philip.
St. Philip. And of course, you're a listener to 100.7 FM QFM, right?
Every day. Every day.
Every day. That's my kind of girl. Thank you so very much, Sophia. All the best. And we wish you from the CBC a very Merry Christmas, all right?
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Sophia Wickham is her name. And so she answered her phone correctly with saying, what are you going to give me for Christmas? That's what we want you to do. And we'll make another call on Monday should God spare life. Let's tell you, as we say, a big thank you to those who've been supporting us in this promotion. We want to say thank you so much today to our valued sponsors, Flow, Purity Bakeries, Beep, 365 Detox by O'Neill, Barpack Ham, Lionel C. Hill Supermarket, Fruits AD, Chickmont Foods Limited, Caribbean LED Lighting, Berger Paints, Aunt May's, you know the seasoning, Uplift Rehab and Safety Supplies, which Wickham got this morning, Zapatos by Alexander, which someone could have won yesterday, C6 Distributors Incorporated, Promotech 5x5 Auto, A1 Supermarkets, Post Wireless World, Exquisite Flooring, The Grease Strap Man, Soothe and Touch the Spa, AA Lakis, Eddie's Supermarket, and Supreme Distributors. Thanks all of you for making people happy this holiday season. All right, we are out of time. We got to go. Thank you so much for joining us today. For my production crew, our producer Alicia Asgrant, Roel Ford, our technical director, Michael Sobers, our sound engineer, at Tamisha Green, and Ryan Kennedy at Master Control. Thank you all. Have yourselves a great weekend. Should it be God's will, we'll see you on Monday.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.